Do you ever see those people that just seem to have it going on for them? It's like they always have good news to share. They always are getting stuff done. They have all this energy. They're in shape. Their kids are, and you're like, are you just like so happy to be alive? Are you on drugs? If you are, can I have some? And like, I'm trying to get stuff done too, and I don't know how. Like, what is going on? Do you guys see those type of people? Today I want to share a framework with you that I think that could literally, if you follow it, you could become that person easily. And I'll tell you how this story or this idea came up. I was at a 4th of July party. And when I say party, I mean a lot of kids around and parents just halfway looking at each other, halfway looking at their kids. But I live in a neighborhood that's really tight knit and everybody loves each other and knows each other. And that's one of my favorite parts about my neighborhood. And so when someone new comes in the neighborhood, we all know it. Okay. So someone moved in and everyone like, oh, you're new. And someone introduced me to this new girly. And the way they introduced me, which was just so sweet, they were like, this is Macy. She wrote a book. That's how she wrote a book. And I just was like, oh, yes, I did. I did write a book. And she was like, really? I mean, to me, I'm like, yeah, it's just like a little book. It's Persuade for Good. And it's so helpful and it's so amazing. But you just gotta be like, accept accept the compliment. Sometimes that can be hard. I said, yeah, I wrote a book. It's so amazing. And she looked at me with these bright brown eyes and she said, I've always wanted to write a book. I'm just not a very focused person, so I can never do that. And so, me, I was like, if I could just coach you for one moment, but it was not appropriate at all between the environment and the relationship. I had no relationship with her whatsoever. So I did what any sales girl would do, is say, I'm going to make a video that I would say to her if I could coach her. That's how we make content around here. So I'm going to share a video, share a message with you of how you can become someone that really can do, honestly, whatever you want and create whatever result that you want. And it's called the 4-hour framework. Like, how many of you would love to have a recipe for life that helps you know that you're going to get exactly what you're going to get when you do this recipe? It's kind of like you put something in the GPS and you're like, I know for a fact if I follow this GPS, I will get here in that amount of time. Like, I know if I put all these ingredients in this bowl and I mix it up and I put the water and I put the oil and I put the egg in and I put it in the oven, I'm going to get a cake. For sure. I know if I do these courses and do these classes, I will get this certification or I will get this degree. For a fact, there's no questions asked. Like, there's a way, I'm telling you, there's a way that you can set that framework for your own life and get the result that you want to get. Does that not blow your mind? Okay, and it's with the 4-hour framework. Now, the 4-hour framework stands for 4 hours that you are going to have for you in your life. Like, no questions asked, just for you. 4 hours. How many of you are thinking, I don't even have 4 minutes? Are y'all thinking that right now? Okay, yeah, I knew you were. I know you. And I know that it feels that way. I promise you. I have a 1 and 3-year-old. I know people will talk about productivity and they're like, well, you don't have kids. You don't have this. You don't have this. You don't understand. I promise you, I really do know how full life can get. And I promise you, there are 4 hours in your day, every single day, that you can use really intentionally. And a lot of women, I talk to women all the time and they like put their kids down and then they go and they have me time. Anybody feel like you need to have me time? It, Tell me, do you like to have me time? Okay, and everyone has their own version of me time. Like, if I were to say, what's your me time? What's your me time? What's your me time? It would all sound a little bit different. What most women, I notice, is their me time is they do things like snacking, wine, watching some sort of show, shopping, scrolling, all these things because it is me time, right? I just want to get on the same page of what I think me time is. Me time is the content, the food, and the time that improves your life, doesn't remove you from your life. It is the time, food, and content that you put in your brain and in your body that improves your life and doesn't remove you from your life. So I want to give you a quick explanation of what I mean by remove you from your life. So we worked with a company called This Naked Mind a while ago, and the author, it's actually a book, This Naked Mind, and it's all about alcohol control. And I'm like not a drinker. I'll tell you that. Like we would have my husband and I have a margarita, on Friday night. Hello, Mexican on a Friday. If you don't do that, you're not an American. And I like would have a margarita, like no problem, right? But I read, if we were gonna work with this company called This Naked Mind, Kat and I both said, well, we got to read the book so we know what the heck we're talking about. And so we read this book, and I was like, whoa, okay. While we work with them, I need to lock up. Like, I'm not going to drink because I'm going to be if I'm going to train these people, these coaches, I need to like know exactly. So changed my life personally and how I thought about alcohol and my decision to cut back drinking. I don't know what my relationship with alcohol is going to look like in the future, but for right now, I'm like, I'm good. Okay. And so I think I started reading this book like last year, November. And the no drinking on a Friday was like, no problem, no problem, no problem. Can I tell you the time it was the hardest? When things were going well. You think about alcohol, it's like, oh, I've had a hard day. We had a huge win in Q4 of last year. We hit our revenue goal in one quarter that we usually do an entire year. And when we realized that, I remember driving this Friday. I was like, oh, I want like a margarita so bad. I really want to celebrate. And I was like, wait a minute. I would literally be removing myself from this excitement, from this feeling, if I were to go and drink. Like, it doesn't improve the celebration, it removes the celebration. Because alcohol makes you dulls your feelings, right? It makes things not as intense, not as hard, and not as good. And so I'm like, why am I like desiring? And that's what's so cool is when you take things away, you see what's left. And you're like, wow, I actually have something to work on right here. So you take away the food at night, you take away the wine, you take away the trashy TV, and you're like, whoa, what am I like resisting? It's just crazy of what happens. And so here's the kicker, okay? Let's say we take away all the stuff that whatever it is for you, that's me time, and you're like, wait, I gotta fill it with something. I'm about to tell you exactly what to fill it with. Would that sound good? Okay, so here is the 4-hour framework. You have 1 hour for one thing, 1 hour for another, and then 2 consecutive hours for another. Okay, so this first hour is 1 hour of input time. 1 hour of input time. Input time is content in your brain. It is new thoughts to think. The thoughts that you think today are 9 times out of 10 just a repeated version of something that you thought yesterday. You know that, right? This is why, like, how did your parents ever say you can't listen to that music? Yeah. And when I was younger, I'm like, it's just music. But I understand now because the repetition of certain phrases become the wiring in your mind. And so a lot of us are not even like thinking about inputting, and we're just repeating the same repetition of little phrases in our minds that are making us live the same life, right? And the problem with it, like a lot of you are probably listening to this, you're like, Macy, I know this. I knew you were going to say that. Anybody feel that way? You're like, this is not new. How many of you have half-read books on your counter right now? How many of you have books that are still in Amazon boxes? Okay. So it's not that you don't know this, is that you don't do it. Okay. So I'm going to give you a plan that if you just follow is going to work out in your favor. Everyone here knows John Maxwell. I'm assuming if you're in this room, you probably know who John Maxwell is. So I've seen him speak a few times. And when I first heard him speak, I think I was in my like early 20s, and I remember him saying a personal growth plan. Everyone needs to have a personal growth plan. And I'm like, what is he talking about? A personal growth plan. And I thought it just meant you just read and you just listen to stuff. And that's exactly what I did. I would just read and listen to stuff until I did 75 Hard. Do you guys know what 75 Hard is? 75 Hard, it is a mental toughness challenge. It's not a fitness challenge. It's a mental toughness challenge to do 5 things every day. Work out for 45 minutes inside, 45 minutes outside, read 10 pages a day, take a picture of yourself, follow a diet, no alcohol. I think that's it, right? So water. Oh yeah, a gallon of water. So those things every single day. And the thing that blew my mind the most was the 10 pages a day. Every day. Not 5 days a week. Not just not on the weekends, not just every day except for Sunday, or every day except for Thanksgiving, every day except for Christmas and Christmas Eve and New Year's and New Year's. No, no. Every single day. 10 pages every single day. Can I tell you, I flew through books. I read like 4 books in 75 days. I don't even know if I finished one. I thought I was a reader before 75 Hard. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I have not even been reading. Are you kidding me? So what I now know a personal growth plan is it's just a standard that you set for yourself. So I'm going to give you a really easy standard. So let's think about this as like a halfway mark, okay? So this is the 30-minute mark. This is your 15 minutes mark, and this is your 15-minute mark. Your personal growth plan is to read 10 pages a day first. 10. And that could take you, for someone like me, it takes me a little bit longer. I'm a slow reader, okay? But some people, you just blow through it in 10 minutes, okay? So this is just the minimum, 10 pages a day. So let's say it takes 20 minutes or so. And depending on the book, right? There's something like Persuade for Good. You need to read 20 pages a day for that one. Like, it just depends on the style of the book, the size of the words. But in general, your standard is 10 pages a day. 10 pages, which could equal however amount of time. And then the rest of the time is going to be filled with audio. Audiobooks, podcast, or courses. Everyone say courses. How many of you buy courses and don't listen to them? Stop it. Stop. Like, do you realize a recorded video could change your life? You think that a recorded video isn't valuable because it isn't live. Literally, recorded videos from 2017 have changed my life more than just about anything. And I'm so thankful for the opportunity that we live in a world where we can literally open a computer and watch people's brains right in front of us and basically take their brain and put it in our brain. Like, it's not just taking the brain, it's taking their decades and decades of experience and putting it in your brain in one day. Do you realize that you could literally compress time just by watching the things that you buy? People have a lot of hate for course creators. They're like, oh, you just create a course. Thank you for creating courses, because it has transformed me from inside out. Okay. So currently, like, my personal development plan is I have my 10 pages, and right now I'm watching courses. I'm a part of a couple of memberships, a couple different programs, and I am plowing through them. But I don't just watch them, sitting there. I do other things while I watch them. And one of the main things that I do is I get ready. Everyone say get ready. Now, getting ready means so much more than just looking cute and putting lipstick on, although I do love to look cute and I love to wear lipstick. It is a symbol. You know how people put, my husband, you put all the dots on and then you sponge it? If he sees me with the dots on, he's like, oh, get your war paint on. Like, I want you to think about, like, I'm putting my war paint on to go do my mission. Like, I'm putting this on to go handle the business. And that act of getting ready, it is so symbolic for me of getting ready for opportunities, getting ready to focus on other people, getting my heart ready, my spirit ready, prepare my mind for the day, so that when I close that makeup drawer and I put on that last hair thing, it's like, it's on. Any of you have y'all ever gone to the grocery store not ready and your first thought is, please God, don't let me see anybody? Like, for the love, I just want to get these bananas and get up out of here. Like, how selfish is that? That you are so obsessed with not seeing anybody that you don't even open up to the world to connect with other people, versus you could just be ready and be like, I'm willing to see anybody today. I'm willing to step in any opportunity today because I took care of the business. So hello, let's just stack some habits on each other right here real quick. So do you guys think you can get down with this plan right here? It's just 10 pages a day, and then fill that rest of that time with at least a full hour of growth. Okay, cool. Now we have 1 hour of what kind of time? Input time. Think input. It's good. It's good. It's good. I say input. I just defined input by me time, and let me get real clear on what me time is. Okay. And another way to think about I gotta say this. So another thing that I think a good way to think about it, when you think about me time as in eating like junk food and watching junk TV, it's not me time, it's them time. You know how I know this? You're making Netflix lives better. You're improving the actor's life on that show because they're getting paid more. You're making the company Frito-Lay's, like you're making the CEO of Frito-Lay's life better. Orville Redenbacher, like it's them time, not you time. You're either selling or being sold. And so when you're inputting that stuff, you're being sold. And I don't know about you, but I'm trying to sell up. Anybody else? Okay, let's go. So now we have input time. The next hour is output time. What could you guess output time is? No. Close. She said sales message. It is movement. Movement, movement, movement. X putting energy. So let's break this up right here. We have 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 minutes. Okay, how many of you exercise pretty consistently? Wave at me if you do. Okay, so can you guys back me up in that after you exercise, you walk a little bit different? Can y'all back me up? You walk a little bit faster? Like, oh, let me just pick this up and use my legs versus like, pick it up. Y'all know what I'm talking about. In fact, when I was moving from my second house to my third house, I remember I was like, oh, man, I'm about to do all this physical labor. I better work out so that I can have energy to do the physical labor. And it's like, wait, what? How does that work? I have to do physical labor, and so I'm supposed to work out so I can have energy to do physical labor? Yes. Those endorphins give you energy. Now, why is energy important? Energy is important because wealth is a high energy result. And you can never have a high energy result from a low energy source. If you're a leader of people, you have got to walk in front. You've got to go first. You've got to lead the way. And I'm telling you, it starts with literally walking faster. One time I went to the zoo. I'm telling you what, the zoo is for some people, it ain't for me, but I got kids, so I got to go sometimes, you know. And we're like, okay, we got to do the zoo thing. Me and my husband are looking at each other, and we're like, okay, we're going to hit the gorillas. We're going to hit the giraffes. We're going to hit the lions. We're going to hit a snack. We're going to finish with the snakes and get home by, break on 3. 1, 2, 3, break. So we get in the car, and we're like going. We break in. We're like the first in line. The way people were moving so slow. They acted like they had nowhere to be. Just going to the zoo for fun. And I was like, I have never felt like I don't belong somewhere more than here. But there was always those people that were like us, and they were moving, and I'm like, follow them. They're breaking the way. And I'm like, I don't think you realize metaphorically you live in a universe where there are people being wandering generalities, and they don't even realize that you can be like intentional with your life and actually go somewhere. And if they see you walking with that intention, they might think, I wonder where they're going, and I wonder if it's worth following. Are y'all not going somewhere important in your life? And don't you want people to come with you? Isn't it like the point of selling is to help change their life by offering them an offer? You got to demonstrate that you got somewhere to go. In fact, Dennis Waitley, he wrote the book, The Psychology of Winning, and he actually says in the book, it's such an old book, but he's like, winners walk quickly. Winners walk quickly. And I'm telling you, it starts with your output time, your exercise time. Your body is the tool in which you accomplish your mission. Yes, do you guys agree with that? Like, making your output time one of the highest priorities is the best thing that you can do. In fact, how many of you would love to have like the best light bulb moment idea of your life? When you exercise, your body, blood starts to go to your brain, and you actually have better ideas. Kat, how many times have you and I been working out in a hotel together on our traveling trip? And like, Kat, I have an idea. Same with you. Walk-in thoughts, like the clarity that comes with moving your body. If you don't work out for anything, do it for ideas. Would that, for an entrepreneur, that might excite you, yes? Go on a walk for the idea. So I don't care how you break this up. I really don't. You could do like a little bit of 30-minute walk, 30-minute weight training. I really think you should lift some weights, but that's another conversation for another day. Like, mix it up. But those of you who are thinking, I don't even have 4 hours in my life to handle all this, guys, what if, stay with me here, what if you did a quick getting ready that took you 15 minutes, and then you spent this 30 minutes listening and walking at the same time. Oh, did we just create time here? I think we did. So it is a 4-hour framework, but it don't have to happen in 4 hours, y'all. It's just a combination of, okay, I'm moving my body for an hour, I'm listening to something, and I'm reading. You have to read actual pages, though. You have to read 10 pages, and it's all coming together one way or another. Could happen in 2 hours, could happen in 1.5 hours, could happen in, like, I don't know, 1 hour maybe. Does that make sense? Okay, now this right here is probably the most critical thing that y'all gonna resist. So this right here, 2 consecutive. Everyone say consecutive. This is not, I don't know how to spell consecutive, but that's what I'm going to write. This is critical. It has to be 2 hours of uninterrupted time. And I'm going to tell you why I really, really am passionate about the 2-hour block. In the dream world, we would have a free day to do whatever we wanted. Can I get an amen? How many of y'all are parents and y'all know that pickup time is coming? Drop of time is coming. Like, there's no such thing as a full day to do nothing unless someone else has your kids. It's just impossible. So while I would love to have a free day, I can't guarantee that, but what I can do is guarantee 2 hours. How many hours? 2-hour nap time, 2-hour morning time. I can get down with 2 hours. And so this 2 hours is your creation time. Whatever you desire to create, whether it's a book, whether it is a podcast, YouTube channel, Instagram content, I don't really care what. Find 2-hour blocks and do it in this 2-hour time period. Now, why does this have to be consecutive? Because here's what's going to happen. You're going to set your timer, you're going to sit down, you're going to start to work, and you're going to hit a roadblock. You're going to be confused. You're going to not know the answer. You're going to be overwhelmed. You're going to be frustrated. You're going to want to look for inspiration somewhere else. You're going to want to get a snack. You're going to want to get, I think I need some water. Oh, I forgot some coffee today. And you are going to walk away and miss out on this precious breakthrough that's about to happen. Can I tell y'all, I am so frustrated most of my work time. I actually texted Kat. I was like, my feet tingle all the time when I'm working because I'm so frustrated that I just want to be further, or I don't know this answer, or I have so much more left to do, or I'm getting all these ideas and I don't want to get ahead, and wait, what about this? And I'm trying to, it's like a spider web, it's like spider web, but I'm telling you, I do not let up until that 2-hour block is up. You have no idea the breakthrough that's on the other side of that frustration. The only problem is that you're making being frustrated a problem. What I really love to do when I'm frustrated, can I tell y'all? I love to call Kat, my business partner. I love to call her and be like, I don't know this answer. What do you think? I'm not sure how to handle this. I don't know what the best way to, and I have just removed the option to touch my phone, to talk to her, to talk to anybody. It goes on airplane mode, period. Unless someone is bleeding, those 2 hours are not touched. I want to show you what can happen in 2 hours a day. Or 2 hours, but also just 2-hour blocks. Okay, so I sometimes can have, the most I can have is 2-hour blocks, usually, like a morning one, and then I'll take a walk, I'll get some water, I'll let myself have a breath of air, and then I'll come back for another 2 hours. So I started writing this program, this is for our inner circle, but I started writing this on June 27th, so it's been 14 days. And in just little 2-hour blocks, this is what has been created. In 14 days. Guys, this is also my side hustle. I also coach and create YouTube content and Instagram stuff and Voxer. This is just 2-hour blocks. And it happens on the weekends too. My kids nap for 2 hours on the weekend. This right here is our textbook right here. This was done in 6 weeks of just 2-hour blocks. Do you think that I hibernated for 6 months to create this? 6 weeks, 2-hour blocks, 2-hour blocks, chipping away, chipping away, chipping away, chipping away. And if you want to do some ninja things up in here, it's you don't just do a 2-hour block, you have a certain result for the 2-hour block. So this is broken down in 6 sessions, and it's broken down in all these pillars and all this stuff. So instead of saying I'm going to write for 2 hours, I would say I'm going to complete session 1 in 2 hours. And guess what? It gets done. How many of you are like, but what if it doesn't get done? What if I can't finish it? You know what's so crazy? How our teachers literally made up deadlines in their mind and said, you know what, I have all this curriculum to teach, and I think we can do it in about 3 weeks, and I'll have their test happen this day. Everyone has to be ready. And some of you are like, but I'm not going to be ready. And she's like, well, this is the timeline. Either you're ready or not. Like, what if you just made yourself your own teacher? Made yourself your own boss? Anybody have a boss that, I don't know, some people work for corporate, but you have a boss that's like, this is due. And you're like, I don't know if it's going to be ready. Then do it B minus is what we like to say. Like, do it halfway, get it wrong, have typos, make it look ugly. Like, who cares? Just get it done. Like, that's how I want you to think about yourself as you set some standards. Everyone say standards. Set some standards for this creation time is I'm going to get this done because I said so. And you know what is so amazing? I was watching my 1 and 3-year-old, watching my 3-year-old brush his teeth by himself, and he's just not doing it right. And I'm just like, I'm not going to like let him off the hook here. Right? I'm not just going to say, oh, it's okay, baby. I'll brush your teeth for the rest of your life. It's fine. No, I don't let him off the hook. I'm like, no, you're going to figure this out. And it's like, we let ourselves off the hook all the time. Like, what if you just kind of treated yourself almost like you would treat your child or your student, or like you used to be your own authority figure? Say, no, I'm not going to let you off the hook here. This gets done no matter what. Be tingly, be frustrated, be overwhelmed, be confused, and do it anyway. This is the recipe for becoming that person. Because here's what ends up happening. Are y'all ready to see this magic that ends up happening? Oh, baby. Y'all better watch out. Okay? So you read. You exercise. You get ready. And you create. So you start to kind of get in this pattern where you're like, oh, I'm getting all these new thoughts and these new ideas, and wow, this exercise is giving me some energy, and oh, I'm getting ready. I'm kind of seeing some opportunities that I'm stepping into that I usually wouldn't step into because I usually wouldn't have presented myself as ready to step into, but here I am. And wow, as I create, I'm actually getting more ideas, and action breeds clarity, so I'm getting more clear. And wait, now I have a new idea, and now I'm thinking about these new ideas while I exercise. And wait, I'm so excited to get ready because I'm going to learn something while I get ready. And now I know exactly what to add in that new creation, that part of the book. And let me just do it again and do it again and do it again and do it again. And you become this Coke bottle that is fizzy, 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 and you can't help but spew. And guess what's going to happen? You're going to start selling. Because you're going to have so much good things to say from all the things that you're reading. You're going to have energy to do so. You're going to be ready to step into those opportunities, and you're going to have something to sell because you've been creating so much. It is literally like this hamster wheel that you actually never want to get off of. And that's how you become a person that has something, a vision that's created. And instead of saying, I'm just not a focused person, I can never do that, you start to realize that the thing you want to create is the thing that makes you the focused person. The thing you want to create, the journey that you go on, is the thing that makes you the person that is high on life, can't sleep, jumps out of bed, cannot wait to wake up in the morning because you know that you have this to wake up to. Was that helpful today? So good. Great. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one.